Good afternoon, everyone. In this video tutorial, I will explain and show you how to do lip augmentation. We will be doing a lip augmentation with Princess Volume. For our model, we agreed to distribute the drug so that 2/3 of the drug would go into the upper lip and 1/3 of the drug would be injected into the lower lip. The first thing we do is apply anesthesia. Anesthesia is applied after treating the area we are going to work with. Treat the surface of the lips with chlorhexidine. Next, after making sure the client is not allergic to lidocaine, we apply the anesthetic on the entire surface we're going to work with. You don't have to rub it in, just applique it on top. And we cover the whole thing with plastic wrap. Let it sit for 20 to 30, maximum 40 minutes. It's been 30 minutes. We're taking the anesthesia off. Checking how much of the drug we had here. How much is left? How long ago was the last time you had a procedure? April. I mean, like us. Relax. 6 months or so. Well, you can still feel the drug. That is, we will now administer 1 milliliter of the drug, distributed as we agreed, 2/3 up, 1/3 down. And we'll have this drug on top of it. Were you needed the last time you had it done? Haha, it's not cold. No, I don't think so. No, you didn't. Yeah, there's nothing. The fact that it hasn't been warmed up because it feels like it. Either very, very lightly needed or not needed because straight eyelid and straight lumps are felt. It is, yeah. That's from not warming up. We got up and turned around. Upper forehead. What about the bottom one? Just a little bit. Just a little bit so it's still more. And want to do more work with the top. So, we will introduce a little bit along the contour anyway, because we will need to distribute the gel afterwards and need it in this way. With the bottom, just want the volume there more here. We use the whole syringe. Alright, let's go, then. We see that the drug has an expiration date until 2020. September of the month. We open the drug to the client that we have a sterile, Nude. We open it in front of our eyes. Do not tear off this paper until the end, because if suddenly the drug remains. We put the syringe back in and cover it with this paper. That's why we never tear off the paper. We're just flipping it. Get the syringe. We have 2 needles here. 2 needles. Why? Because one needle may bend in inexperienced hands, for example, when removing the cap, and then you will have to replace it. Or we make half of the syringe, we circle it, and then to make it easier for the person, we can remember the needle, and that'll be the second part of the procedure. It will be easy, because the first needle can become blunt. Also, why do we have 2 needles? Because we can finish, for example, half of the syringe today, and the client wants to finish the rest of the half, for example, in 2 weeks, to see where he wants to inject more or where there is not enough. And to do the procedure 2 weeks later sterilely, there's a second needle that we'll open up 2 weeks later. So there was another case recently. when a student of mine threw this rubber thing in the trash. It's clear that I should have saved the syringe for next time, finished it. It is clear that we are not going to get this pimple out of the trash, and we just got out of the situation in such a way that we took a second needle, which was sterile, opened it, put it on, screwed tightly. And that's how we gave it to the client to store in the fridge. The main thing is not open the cap or unscrew the client himself this needle. So the fact that there too is a very important point. It is not just so it means how this whole thing opens the obligatory condition to hold the syringe for this part of the glass, because if you hold in any other place, it can break off in an awkward movement. Another important point on inexperience. Again, this rubber cap a young master, a young specialist can twist and twist in one place. And there was also a case where they screwed it up and it just broke off. So part of the rubber band was still inside and had to be forged out. In every way you can think of. Nobody needs it, so we carefully hold the glass part with one hand, and with the other hand, we unscrew the pimple with a light movement, not throwing it away, but putting it in a box. That's it, it's unscrewed. Next we have the needle. With an easy motion we unscrew it before anything is thrown away. That will throw out the cap from the needle and everything, and with a slight movement we screw the needle to the stop screwed and further we adjust the piston, so that the cut of the needle from which we have the drug comes out. I adjust it, so that the cut was upwards. I adjusted the syringe as held in this way. We remembered where we have tasks. The cap was removed with a deft, strictly upward movement. Not sideways, so as not to break the needle, but strictly upwards. They took it off. Prepared a carhexidine-treated wipe in one hand. And we're working. We turn our face as we feel comfortable. I'll inject a small amount along the contour, just to keep it there. As we have already agreed with the model, it is necessary to have the entire volume inside. But to turn the lip, we really need the contour too. So we're indenting 5 mm from the edge of the lip. Speak, take a breath. Breathe deeply, don't hold your breath. We inserted the needle. I haul it back and put pressure on the piston on the way back. Some amount of the drug is excreted. Next, I enter where I left off. So here we were inserting the whole needle. Now I'll be entering this place. Inhale. Here I have inserted the needle fully. I start to put pressure on the piston and pull the needle back out. Further to the corner. That's the one we have at the top. It was introduced smoothly. Next, I unfold the needle in a way that emphasizes the natural shape of the lips. Entering, entering. Inhale. Inhale. You know what we didn't do? We didn't get a before and after picture. We went over the top. Now we will make the lower contour and further add volume. All set. How's it feel? Is that normal? Again indent 5 mm. Inhale. Inhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale the last breath. We have filled out the entire contour. It remains to work with the volume inside. How do you feel? So there are two kinds of volume filling. Well, there are, of course, more of these types, but the main ones for filling the volume are when we work in the center, filling the volume, and when our task is to turn the lip, then we will introduce the volume from here, from above. Thus, to turn the lip. So, our task is to place the gel into the lip tissue, and further kneading movements to distribute it, so that the lip unfolds like this. Just now, well, you can change the needle, for example. There was some of the drug on the circuit. Either we fill the volume, for example, from the top, and then change it. Let's do it this way. These are such beautiful lips. Inhale. In fact, in order for everything to look more or less decent on camera, I spend a fair amount of time wiping my lips. In reality, of course, we do the procedure faster, in order to let the person go faster and not to torture them anymore. In order to change the needle, we also hold the cold glass part, unscrew the needle. Next, we hide the leg. Screw it back in, holding the glass part in the same way. Screwed it in, then carefully open the wing. Everything here is fresh, nice, and needlepoint. Inhale. 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 All that's left is the most important thing for you right now. This is the injection of the drug in such a way as to turn the lips there. Inhale. Inhale, that it is necessary means that there is left quite a drop, and in finish or leave it finish that wanted in general originally 2 pieces to put on last, the very last. That's it, we're out of the drug. I'm showing you now that it's completely over. We're gonna throw the syringe away. We cap the needle, and this is how we dispose of it all back into the box. This box will be tossed out with all the tools inside. The final part of the treatment is when we rub and knead everything. Kneading the lips is the most important part in lip augmentation, because you can inject the drug any way you want. Any drug. And whatever hands that just learned how to do it, or have been doing lip augmentation for 20 years, it doesn't matter. It's how you stretch it that matters. Because if you suddenly injected the drug incorrectly, somewhere more, somewhere less, then kneading has a chance to fix it. And, for example, the model would like the upper lip to be more turned up. When kneading, we will knead in such a way that we have the drug fixed as an unfolding lip. We all bring more or less. Look, notice that right after the augmentation, we don't have any bruising or hematomas. But after kneading, there is a possibility that they may appear. Because kneading is a strong part of the procedure. Kneading. Bear with me. Kneading is also the kind of procedure you have to be patient with. But we've already realized it's the most important one. Procedure. The client is uncomfortable from kneading usually the first 2 minutes, 3, then it becomes a little easier, because the gel is distributed in the tissues of the lip. By the way, it is very well distributed. We introduced everything neatly. It is already laid here smoothly. The preparation Princess Volume. It is itself a soft drug. It is recommended to do who is afraid of some special effects on the lips, like from the internet pictures. Or for cosmetologists who are starting out who are afraid of doing harm. They're soft drugs. Basically, if you put something in the wrong place, it's very easy to distribute, clean up, correct. It's not as scary as some other drugs. We're smoothing the whole thing out. With the upper lip. Yo, please prepare more napkins for me. Okay, and the bottom one. Save yourselves. Kneading movements. So linear. All the movements are strong. On both sides. I mean, I'm kneading on the inside and the outside. With effort. Because if you don't knead it well, there can be lumps inside. Or some ugly ones. An unsightly effect can be seen when more is injected in one part, less in another, and not kneaded, then, of course, it will not turn out very beautifully. The kneading procedure is the most important one to keep all the stuff out. So don't skimp on the time spent kneading, long, thoroughly. While we're warming up, we tell the recommendations that we don't kiss today, we don't eat anything hot, we don't eat at all for the next 3 hours. We're only drinking through a straw today. Saunas, tanning salons are out for the next week. And tonight we'll sleep on our backs without a pillow. To spread the gel, to make sure it's even. Mimicry, clearly expressed, exclude, so that again, the gel calmly stand where it should. Now I'm checking, doing a control check of the drug administration, and making sure that we have it laying flat, evenly distributed and no. We shouldn't have any lumps. So, in this case, in this model, I'm once again fixing the result so that the lip is turned upwards, because that was the main goal when the client approached us. I unwrap it with my hands. Okay, you should be out of pain by now, right? So we're not needing anything else on our own. We don't touch our lips anymore. How are you feeling? Is that okay? What? You ready? Thank you. Thank you. Preparing the client to go out into the world, so we clean up all the residual, I apologize, blood so there's nothing anywhere. Everything was clean, neat and tidy. And apply a moisturizing, soothing cream to your lips. We say you need to moisturize your lips for the next 5 days. Protect them with lip gels. Or whatever it is, lip gloss. Moisturizing lipsticks. Starting tomorrow, today, we don't touch the lips with anything else. You can come home and wipe them down with chlorhexidine. There you go. That's it, take a mirror, see the result.